Hi, we're going to show you how to do some eyebrows for someone who has alopecia universalis or has lost their eyebrows completely. We're going to start out on my model Mackenzie here, and basically the first thing that we're going to do is make sure that her skin is completely clean, and if she has any existing eyebrows, that's going to be our key to learn where we need to start with and what arch we're going to work with. So to begin, she has very clean skin, and what we're going to do is we're going to put a primer on her eyebrows. The reason we put a primer is because when you have no eyebrows to attach to, they could move off very easily, especially if you're using just a powder alone. So you're going to put a skin color primer right where the eyebrows would be. Now if this is for a young child, you especially need to make sure it matches their skin tone, because otherwise it will show up more than the eyebrow powder will. But if it's for an adult who's already wearing foundation, you can just start with their regular concealer. All right, so we've got her all primed. And next what we're going to do is we're going to start with a pencil. I'm using a universal pencil, meaning the color can work for anyone. It's basically a light brown color. It will work for blondes, brunettes, anything, but if your hair is as dark as black, you'll want something that's a little more specific for that wig color. Now when you start, where you begin is essentially the inside of their eye. So you start there and use that as your key for where you begin the eyebrow. And you're going to take thin, small strokes as you go across. The way that you know the arch, if you're nervous about figuring out which kind of arch to use, you can always purchase eyebrow stencils. I have lots of eyebrow stencils here. And they're clear, and normally you can use these as your guide for how long you want the eyebrows to be, how thick you want them to be, and you can just play around with it and figure out what works best for you. So for Mackenzie here, we're going to do a thin eyebrow, especially because she has no hair on right now. You don't want something too thick if you're not wearing hair. If you're wearing your hair or your wig, you can feel free to make it a little bit thicker. All right, so I'm using thin strokes, and a good trick here for your pencil is to freeze it and then sharpen it before you get started. That way it's going to be as sharp and precise as possible. And you don't want to go too much longer than the outer corner of the eye, so if you put up your finger and go to the outer corner of the eye, that'll show you where to stop the eyebrow. All right, next thing we're going to do, we're going to move along pretty quickly, is you can add a wax. The wax is going to be the same color as the pencil, or you can just do a powder on top of it. The wax keeps it sealed and keeps it from moving, especially if you're going to be in a position where you're sweating. I'm using a blonde color because she's not wearing a wig right now. But if she chose to wear a darker color wig, obviously you would accommodate that color. Again, simple, thin brush strokes. Short, nothing too long. And the last thing you're going to do is do the powder right on top of that. The powder sets everything in, especially with the gel. I'm doing a bit of a darker color now just to show you where they are. You can get any color, especially if you go into a makeup shop, they can show you which colors to use, but a lot of salons can show you which colors are going to work for your wig. All right, so we're only doing one eyebrow today, but this will show you how to do a quick eyebrow for someone like Mackenzie who has none to start with. Thanks so much.